Keep it going for your host, everybody. How are we? So a woman I was seeing told me that I look like beta male Clark Kent. I was just like, there's a nice way to break up with me. You know that, right? I've always been personally jealous of Clark Kent. He is the only glasses superhero, still. And he takes off his glasses, and he's Superman. And I take off my glasses, and I am blind. I have really, really bad vision, guys. I'm nearsighted, 2 astigmatisms. I got a scar in one eye. I'm colorblind. I drove here today. It's cool. I am one of the only white Americans who can honestly say, I don't see color or shapes. Here's how much I'm not a superhero. I want you all to know this. Last week, I got bit in the neck by a spider. And I thought I was gonna get powers. And I got a rash. It swelled really big. No one was kissing me upside down in the rain. It was a real grip on me. Terrible. Everybody here from LA, from sort of the greater LA area, yeah? Yeah. So you all know we're having a bit of a housing crisis. I feel sort of lucky. My place has a balcony. Well, my place is a balcony. My lease comes up whenever that couple opens the blinds and sees me. It's great. I want to get a better place. It's tough. I've been unemployed for a while, and I'm aspiring to be a TV writer, which means I'm hoping to still be unemployed. I actually did, though. I just moved this week, and my old building, it was getting to be too much. Like, they sent out an email that said, we're going to be testing the fire alarms today from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they sent that email at 9:35 a.m. By the way, what are they preparing for? What fire keeps business hours? Like, is the building going to be burning and all of a sudden the fire's like, oh shoot, my kids are at soccer, I gotta go. They would also do this, they would have 2 a.m. fire alarms, which are great, you know, love them. They really get you to answer the question like, do I want to burn alive in my house or wake up for work tomorrow? 50-50. So I finally said enough's enough. I was like, I'm moving, I'm going to get as far away from here as I can. So I packed up and I moved across the street. I know that seems like a weird move, but now, you know, like when I was living there, the fire alarm would go off at night and I'd have to get up and like grab my shoes and grab a coat and get out of there. And now their fire alarm goes off and I get up and I grab popcorn. Just watch how this goes. I also got a new job that I'm very happy about. I'm a grant writer by trade. If you don't know what that is, like when a charity has to run its programs, I'll write a letter to a corporation asking for money. That's what you do with an English degree. You beg professionally. It's like panhandling without talent. It's wonderful. And I'm working for a Jewish charity here in the city, which is nice. It's very cool. Every Tuesday, Holocaust survivors come to our office. They use our multi-purpose space and they do ballroom dancing. And it's really inspiring to watch them rub it in Hitler's face. You know? They were like, I was supposed to be dead at 8. Watch this foxtrot, baby. Still got it. I am actually really excited because later this year, I get to write the German government. I get to write the claims conference and ask for money for what these people went through during the war. And it's cool for me because I've worked for a lot of nonprofits. I've never been able to start a request letter with, well. Look who it is. I hope you brought your checkbook, Fritz. It's going to be a long day. A couple of people have been asking me, you know, now that I'm working there, they're like, oh, Tommy, are you Jewish? And I'm not. I'm flattered by that mistake, you know. It's always, I do find that really flattering, except for one time. A guy asked me my race in a Subway. You know, by the way, a Subway, the sandwich shop, it was the guy working the counter. I haven't read their corporate handbook, but I feel like that's a no, right? This wasn't even in response to anything weird. I didn't like walk in and say like, hey, let me get an Italian BMT on pita. And he's like, really? What race are you? I was just sitting there minding my own business. He says, excuse me, sir, what race are you? I was raised to be polite. I say, oh, you know, I'm Scottish and French. Like, I'm participating in his 23andMe for some reason. I don't know. He says, oh, I would have guessed Jewish. Now I'm starting to feel weird because, like, I don't mind being mistaken for Jewish. I mind being asked, you know? I could tell by the way he phrased it. He wasn't like, hey, are you Jewish? Because I'm looking for someone to give away this 6-inch veggie delight. This wasn't that. I said, oh, you know, I get that sometimes, and he says, really, why do you think that is? Like, he's gonna racist and trap me into describing my own face. So I say, I don't know, I've got dark hair, I've got sharp features, and he says, yeah, when you walked in, I thought you looked like Larry King. For a minute, I think, I'm gonna cry in front of this Eat Fresh anti-Semite. And then he says, no, like, you know, if he was still alive. Like, that was the problem? My dad is here, by the way.
Woo!
Yeah, give it up for him. He's come a long way from Indiana. This is the first time he's seen me perform stand-up live. I'm very excited. And my dad, by the way, very similar to him, you know. We're not really jocks, I feel like. Like, if my dad taught me to throw a football, taught me to throw a spiral, when I was 21 years old. They didn't really help me out on the playground at Loyola University, Chicago. I'm gonna wait for this Vietnam flashback to pass by. Alright. But like, truly, I think about that. All of my friends do sports. They can play basketball, they can play football, their dads taught them. My dad taught me about things like Galileo discovering the planets, you know? Taught me about the Ice Age, all of that. A lot of history, a lot of literature. And I was always jealous, and now I write professionally, and none of those kids are pro athletes, so Tim played the long game. I'm gonna say. One time I remember a kid actually said to me, like, you know, my dad could beat your dad up. And I was like, my dad's a lawyer. We will sue. You're gonna be paying us for you. I called my sisters over. I was like, hey, this kid's dad's about to make us rich. We're getting hot tub money. I do want to get serious. I just got the light, so I'm gonna get through this. But I want to say something. You know, I had always wanted to be an artist growing up, and it's never easy for anyone trying to find your voice as an artist when you're a kid. But my parents, my mom and dad, they kind of went out of their way to make it hard on me. You know? No, I'm serious. It's just, it didn't matter what I did, whatever it was just like they were always right there, just supporting me unconditionally. You know? I mean, it was enough to drive me to rehearsal several times a week. What am I going to do with that? All art is about how they don't get along with their parents. What am I going to do? Stand up about how much I love and respect my dad? Would that even work for the next 30 seconds? I want to share this story, and then I'm going to get out of here. There was a time I was in 8th grade. I wanted to be an actor because I liked the idea of having an English degree, but I thought that's way too much cash coming in. More, you know? We were doing readings in English class for Hamlet. I got to play Hamlet. I was so excited. I was running lines in my room at night. My dad came in suddenly, surprised me. I could tell just by looking at him that he'd spent all night at a bar, association meeting. Go to tell me. He said, what are you doing? You crying? You trying to access sense memory to get to Hamlet's grief? No son of mine will practice the method. You live in my house, you follow my Eisner technique. Now let's work on your stanchion. Seriously though, here's how much my dad supports me. He flew across the country to help me move across the street. And I realized, I realized that man has been helping me cross the street since 1993. And yesterday he still had to remind me to look both ways. Guys, I'm Tommy Spears. Keep it going for your host. And for your dad, JP. Have a good night.